For a while now, I've wanted to make like kind of long-form videos. There's a particular video on YouTube that I was really inspired to do this kind of thing by. Matthew Matosis is his Dark Souls videos. That 6-hour one that he made. Like, I don't know. I've shown that to other people, and people aren't. I don't think people are as impressed with that video as they should be. That video is like solid fucking gold. Like, it's such a cool like tour of all the cool things in that game, and like overall, it's such a solid piece of video game analysis. And I've always wanted to do similar stuff to that, but obviously, he put an absurd amount of work into that video. Like I was reading his Twitter posts and stuff while he was making it. It seemed like he was really like hurting himself over it. And I don't really want to go that far. I'm already hurting myself over school. So, but I do want to do a few things like tour you guys through some really cool games that I think really have cool design philosophies and just kind of like talk about them. And I also wanted to stream a little more. But the reason I hadn't been doing those things is because they'd be like a lot less effort or a lot like different in terms of form than the typical videos I post to my channel. And I didn't like the idea of having tons of streams and like let's plays and just things like that saturating my channel. And then I realized something. What I can do is I can just like say I can make a video like this. Like I can make a stream, I guess, of Oxygen Not Included. And I can just keep making more videos of it. But basically, eventually, like maybe after I've moved on to something else, or if I'm done with what I'm doing, like this will have an ending. This playlist, I'll make it a playlist, and I'll only list the first video on my channel. So there will still only be like one video per game or per big thing, and the channel won't be saturated with tons of videos. You'll still easily be able to see the videos I put more work into, because in the description of the first video will be a link to a playlist full of unlisted videos, which is the rest of it. So you only click one thing to get to all of it, and it's listed in the main channel. That's going to be the idea. And I can do something... I can just kind of stream the game and talk about it and explain what's cool about it. And I think it took him a full summer. I didn't know it took him a full year. Also, like my chat was down while I was explaining that, so I actually didn't... Yeah, so I haven't seen other people doing things this way, but that's how I'm going to do it, and I think it's a good idea. And so the game we're going to start with is Oxygen Not Included. I think this game is really, really cool, and you know, if I was being more professional or being more like how I usually am in terms of like meticulousness, I would definitely not be doing this. I would wait until the game is out, because right now the game is in early access. It's not finished, but it's getting close, and they've already kind of laid out the roadmap, and they're kind of at the end of the they're at the end of like the marathoning content portion of their build. They're not completely done with it. They're going to add more content, but they're moving on to like optimization and bug fixes. So I think the game I'm about to be streaming is decently close to what the final game is going to look like. And we actually are playing in the test build of the Space Industry upgrade, which hasn't actually fully launched yet. It will come out for like we're going to start a new game. We're going to be, and I think it should just transition to the upgrade when it happens. Right now, this isn't quite the full upgrade. There will be some like unfinished assets and just like textures that are missing and glitches and stuff. But like, it's sorry, I was reading the chat. But I think the new game that we start should just transition into the real upgrade when that lands in a week or so. And we definitely won't be finished with this then. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game. And this upgrade adds a lot of endgame stuff to do, a lot of really cool endgame stuff. So let's just jump into it. I'm going to look at the chat finally now, and I'm going to start taking things a lot more casually from here on out. It's not going to be me monologuing quite as much. It'll be me talking to the chat also, and kind of just, you know, playing a game. Definitely do survival mode. The difference between those two is just like these options: immune system regular, duplicate mood regular. You can change it to like pessimistic, fatalistic. This is pretty funny. This whole game is pretty charming. Yeah, 6 months was about what I thought it was. Yeah, if you haven't watched Matthew Matosis' 6-hour Dark Souls video, you really should give it a shot if you like video game analysis stuff, because I think a lot of people don't really think much of that, because a lot of people have played Dark Souls to an absurd degree, And so I think a lot of people have watched that video and thought to themselves, yeah, I thought all this already. And that doesn't really negate the quality of the video. It's still a fucking incredibly well done summary of all of those thoughts that he put a lot of work into, and it's a very good piece of video game analysis. Like, just even if it's things you've already thought before, you have only thought those things because you have overthought that game yourself. But that doesn't mean that someone else shouldn't write those things down. You should have wrote those things down. I think. Anyway, I'm arguing with nobody. Let's just get this started. Everything's gonna be regular. Start game. Yeah, the Demon Souls one is like way smaller in scale than the Dark Souls one, but the Demon Souls one is also very, very good. Joseph Anderson is hit and miss, and lately hit and miss for me, and lately I think he's been a little more miss. He doesn't. I don't think Joseph Anderson puts as much thought into the quality of his observations as a lot of other people do that make these kinds of videos, myself included. Sometimes he does, and a lot of his videos are fantastic. I really, really liked his analysis of the Edith Finch game. I thought he did a really good job with that. I thought he did a really good job with the Bloodborne video. But some other stuff just kind of seemed silly to me. His Zelda video was a mixed bag, and if you watch my Zelda video where I kind of wander around my apartment for 3 hours and talk about it, I also think that game was a mixed bag, but some of his arguments seem kind of half-baked to me. And same with the Mario review that he made. Yeah, but the thing about it is that he presents them as if they aren't, and he also, and a lot of the time they actually aren't. A lot of his videos are really, really good. I just wish that he would quality control himself a little more. That's also a really good observation, Joseph. Yeah, it's Joseph talking about Joseph, jeez. Yeah, he feels the need to back up every point with like 10 examples. Yeah, sometimes he goes a little too far with his making a point. Almost like he's defending his opinion. Like I guess he like goes into defense mode of his opinions a lot. But before the video is actually finished, like it's cool to throw a defense or something. You want to like make a solid argument. You want to put up a good foundation for what you're saying, but you don't like. I don't know. You don't need to go quite in the direction he does a lot. Yeah, it's interesting to hear someone agree with this, because I don't think I've ever really talked to anybody about Joseph Anderson. I do like him. I do subscribe to him. I will watch his videos when he makes them, but I think he could do better. Anyway, so we got Trivaldo here. We're definitely taking a Trivaldo. He's our boy, if you watched the last video. We're definitely taking a Nisbet. I don't even care what these people do. Bottomless stomach, who cares? He eats more. That's actually going to be a huge fucking problem in the early game, but we'll deal with it. Twinkle Toes, good athletics, love it. +8 to athletics, that's legit. He likes to operate and ranch. If you're starting this game up, don't worry too much about these attributes, because the dupes will level up the attributes as they do stuff. These interests, also, you don't need to worry too much about, but the interests are a nice little bonus, because it makes them master their jobs faster, and you want to be basically putting the dupes, you want to be cycling the dupes through different jobs, and so basically if I start Trivaldo off as an operator, he'll get good at operating faster than normal dupes. We'll have 2 operators, which is pretty worthless in the early game, but at least Ruby here can research. I just don't really like Ruby, though. I don't know. Nisbet's the best. Trivaldo's our boy, but Ruby here, like, what are you doing, man? Let's see. He likes digging. That's really nice to have early game. He likes research. Honestly, he's too good to pass up. So, yeah, I mean, I used to shuffle these non-stop when I first started playing, but I've since kind of learned that it's really not a big deal. You shouldn't really worry too much about this stuff. The stress reactions are terrible no matter what. Like, some are worse than others for sure, but, like, in general, it's pretty easy to avoid. They only have their stress reactions when you let them get to 100% stress. And, it's pretty easy. It's pretty hard to not let them get stressed, but it's pretty easy to not let them get to 100% stress. What you really lose from stress isn't the stress reactions. What you lose is time. And as we'll see, this game is I kind of look at this game as if there's 3 basic resources. So this game is basically a colony simulator. I guess I should explain what it is, and I'm going to explain what it is. I know I explained what it is yesterday also, but I'm kind of doing this as like its own... We're doing a new game, and I'm explaining it as I go. So sorry if you're hearing this twice, but... it's a colony simulator where you're in an asteroid, and you're constantly faced with crises. It's a crisis management simulator, really. There's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of timers you're on, there'll be a lot of mistakes of your own making, and you just have to learn to deal with it. Like a calm head and a cool approach to this game, and a willingness to kind of learn from your mistakes is really what this game is all about, I think. And that's really cool. Not a lot of games emphasize those kinds of skill building. I think that's one of the cooler things about this game. Anyway, the stress reactions are always terrible. You do not want people to be breaking your shit. Destructive might be the worst, because usually when you make buildings and you deconstruct them, you get the materials back. But if they have to repair something, then they actually use materials, and that's like the one instance where materials get deleted. So that's kind of bad. Vomiting is just annoying. Like, they take 2 steps in vomit. If they reach 100% stress, like, the vomit just doesn't stop coming out. And then Binge Eater is also... People get pretty scared of Binge Eater. If you let that happen, he will eat all your food and your dupes will starve. But again, I don't really worry too much about these stress reactions. I worry about stress, though, a lot. And you should, because, as we'll see, this game has 3 basic resources. Oxygen, food, and... let's say productivity. I like to look at like efficiency. That's the resource. Efficiency. That is like a resource in this game. And if they're constantly trying to de-stress, that's going to be really inefficient, and they're going to get less done. That's really what it's all about. But anyway, we're just going to start. I guess the colony name is going to be... That's such a terrible name. Ironic Space Station. That's great. We'll do that. This game is a lot like RimWorld. This game, I said yesterday, is kind of a mix of, like, some of the cooler aspects of both RimWorld and Factorio. And a little bit of Dwarf Fortress. So anyway, here's what we got. I'm gonna ignore all the tips, I'll just explain shit. So I'm gonna pause, let's look around. So here's the basic bubble that you start in. You got a heat map. Everything is really, really nice. It won't stay nice. The heat will just gradually, naturally distribute, and you can see that it's really hot in this corner here, and that's just going to over time seep in, and heat is kind of the boogeyman of this game. It's always looming as a problem, and you always need to worry about it, and your run can really end because of heat, in a way that it wouldn't end otherwise. So I'm going to dig out this, and I'm going to fast forward it. I'm going to do a lot of this game in super speed, at least until it starts to slow down. But boy, is this frame rate nice. I've been playing in like base 700. I forgot how nice the game is overall. So right now I'm just gonna dig. I'm just gonna dig out a whole bunch of space. 4 is the magic number. Oops. Yeah, I should probably pay attention. I guess I'm gonna be a lot more inefficient than I normally would since I'm streaming and talking and stuff. Hopefully that won't be a huge deal. And I kind of forgot about the early game and what you're supposed to do. I don't want to take this yet. But just before I have to think about it, and this is super duper temporary, I'm going to put some beds here for them, and I'm also going to dig out this area, and it's really nice to have this water here. This is the perfect location for water. And I kind of want to be careful here. I don't want to dig up this bristle box on this side, so you guys can do that. So I'm just throwing down some temporary beds so that they don't have sore backs tomorrow. The bedroom is not going to go right there, but you really shouldn't be afraid to just throw stuff up and deconstruct it later. And they do really need beds all the time. It'll slow them down a lot if they don't have it, and they'll build stress up. Oh my god. Ruby, you blew it. You blew it, Ruby. Oh shit. Let's see. That's a big problem. They're really slow builders right now. They might not be able to get to him. Okay, I need to do this quickly. And I can just do that. Fucking, yeah, we had our doubts about you, and you're really not helping your case right now, Ruby. Let's, make this priority 8 so you do it. If you press P, you bring up the priorities. And yeah, the dupes will just prioritize what's the higher number. There's some complication to it because you can also click the priorities right here and assign different dupes specific different tasks. By the way, these are dupes. Their names they're called dupes because they are clones, they're duplicates, and they come out of this printing pod. And I'll be able to print more dupes when this meter fills up, which should be in, it says 2.2 cycles. An exceptionally advanced bioprinter of unknown origin. There is some lore to this game. We'll see some as we go. Okay, Ruby is not gonna die. That's pretty nice. It's always nice when your dupes don't die. We're gonna deconstruct this. Nope, Nisbet. Which is okay. Everything's fine. I'm gonna put a pump right here. I'm also gonna deconstruct this. Hopefully that's yeah. So now this thing can come down all the way. So this is just so that they can get water right now. And I'm also gonna put. I'm gonna put a couple outhouses down. Not right there. So in addition to beds, you should definitely like make outhouses really quickly. And there's one other thing that you want to make quickly, which is wash basin. I'm gonna assume that my dupes are gonna go this way most of the time. So basically, the way I'll have my base set up is that they'll only, at least in the beginning, is that they will only. Do I want them here? Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, maybe he'll get one. Honestly, there are some dupes that just continue to piss me off the whole game. I guess there's room for a ladder right there. I don't really mind digging this up, so I'm gonna put one of these here. Just put two down, two wash basins down. Never mind, I can't do that. Maybe I'll just dig down, 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 down. Again, 4 is the magic number. The reason 4 is the magic number is because the reason 4 is the magic number is most buildings will fit in a 4-tile high room, first of all. Second of all, the dupes can build anything in the room without you having to put ladders down. They still have to get on the ceiling to make the ceiling go, so you can't just expect them to build the ceiling if you're building a room sideways. And that's it, yeah, pretty much what it's supposed to. I just realized I fucked up. I definitely don't want this again. I like to leave one space because eventually we're going to build fire poles to make them slide down really fast. Shit. I'm going to fix this later, but I definitely want a wall here between me and the water. What I want to do, one of the things that we want to do early is kind of unite these 3 piles of water. We have a lot of starting water. That's kind of, look at all this iron. That's really good too. I want to build a big basin down here to hold all this water, eventually. So maybe this is fine to have this like this for now. We'll see. So, if you press F1, you'll bring up the oxygen map, and you'll see, since I'm digging this place out, there's not much oxygen in here, but it's not really a big issue. One thing I'll do to make the air flow through quicker is I'll delete this little tile there. Set priority 9, so we'll do it. And you'll see by doing that, the oxygen is going to flow in here a little easier. And they're having trouble breathing in here, but they can do it. And this, you can see already that the oxygen is flowing in rather efficiently now that I've dug out that one. Yeah, it's happening a lot faster now. But we are going to have to do something about it. So where is the oxygen coming from? Right now it's coming from this oxalite right here, which is a fake material. You can see it's emitting oxygen at a crazy variable number of grams per second. But it's finite. You can see it's running out of mass as it does this. So basically it's just losing mass, and when it runs out of mass, the tile just disappears. You can mine it out. It'll continue emitting oxygen just naturally on the ground. Don't worry about like moving it. You can mine it just fine. I think. I've seen some people avoiding it, but I don't think that's well founded. Shit. Still don't have bathrooms. And they're on their break, so they're not gonna have bathrooms until tomorrow. If one of them wets themselves, it's not the end of the world. But I'm just gonna slap down a couple wash stations right here. And this is super duper temporary. No, actually, I'll do the other one. I'm overthinking this, but Do. By the way, how loud is my mouse and keyboard? Oh, it's nighttime, they're sleeping. Nighttime is based on your own rules, mostly. If I click this button here, I get a schedule, and you can see that it's nighttime, and you can edit their schedule, you can make new schedules for them. That's good. One of the, what was I gonna say? One of the traits that dupes can have, what's your problem? Oh yeah, they really have to pee. They're about to make a mess, you can see. They are holding it in. Alright. Travaldo might wet himself too. Oh, no, alright. Everyone's fine. So, basically, the reason I've overthought this is because I want to set these to be used only when you go right. So basically, they walk in, they use the outhouse, they walk out, and this arrow here is saying that you should use the wash station if you're walking past it to the right. So if they can walk past it to the left and they won't use it, they'll only use it when they go right. So it's kind of a checkpoint. What they're doing right now is they're disinfecting it. You can see that this is the germ overlay if you hit F9. And people are pretty germy. They got food poisoning on them. And that's from just... that's because the wash stations actually don't have water yet. That's why I threw down this pitcher pump. The wash stations need to be supplied with a constant source of water, which is pretty inefficient. And so there's improvements to be made of this plumbing system, obviously. These are very temporary bathrooms, but, you know, once, they'll ungerm if they use the bathroom again and then walk through that. I might force them to do that. So you can see the meter right here is filled up. And this is how much, like, dirty stuff is here. What do you mean by the flow of your guys? Like, yeah, you tell them what to do. You give them suggestions, and they listen to you. I guess... this also... They're getting stuck. Nisbet doesn't really know what to do. I'm not giving them enough tasks, so let's think and kind of decide what we're doing here. I think I'm gonna build a ladder way down and just start making floors one at a time. I'm not paying much attention to the resources that I'm using, but you can pick, whenever you pick tile here, what resource to use. I guess I can only use sandstone right now, but I'll talk about the different materials kind of as I go. Is what a ladder? I don't see a ladder. So they're holding their breath, but again, if they need breath, they'll just go up and take some. So oxygen is only kind of... Oxygen is kind of the yin to a yang. This game kind of has two kind of main gases that kind of dictate how you have to manage stuff. There's oxygen, which is sort of like the yin, and then there's carbon dioxide, which is the yang. So the thing is that we are in an asteroid right now. The idea is that this background here is wall, or some distance back is a wall. So it's a closed system, is what I mean by that. So they're going to breathe in oxygen, and they need the oxygen to breathe in, but as they breathe in oxygen, they're also going to exhale some carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide needs a place to go. So we're going to have to deal with that. If you just let the carbon dioxide build up, then eventually... oh yeah, so the carbon dioxide weighs more than the oxygen. So it's going to naturally fall below it. You can see that the carbon dioxide, that's this black stuff here, is just naturally falling to the bottom, and the oxygen is floating above it. But if you let it, like, rise up, if you don't do anything about it, it's going to kind of pile up. The oxygen is going to get crammed up here, and your dupes are going to suffocate. So you need to be thinking about how to deal with carbon dioxide at the same time that you figure out how to deal with just giving your dupes oxygen. It's not just as simple as they need to do it. You need a system. And I think I'm going to also put I'm gonna put a ladderite. Shit, I put the cots right here. Fuck. It's whatever. I'll put one of these here. So that they have... So basically, I don't really need this right now, but... It's just so that there's more space. Space for the oxygen to kind of distribute. Audible was the... I think audible was the first thing you said. But I still don't know what you mean by lighter. Once I dig this up here, it's gonna be the bed's gonna be unusable. I'll just put another bed right here or something. I'm not really that worried about it. I think I will do this. They run faster on this tile. This little guy here is a hatch. Where is he? There he is. He's getting old. How is he 72 years old already? I think that's something they just did with this patch. Usually, I think in the previous patch they would all start at level 1. I mean, at age 1. But these guys start at randomized ages now. I think that's new to this update. So let's check the germ overlay. Germs are something you kind of do need to worry about in the beginning of the game. Having a germ outbreak loses you a lot of time. Having a disease outbreak, I should say, loses you a lot of time. And you really don't have a lot of time to spare in the beginning. There's a lot of stuff I want to get set up, like, quickly. And the goal is basically, the overall goal right now, and by right now I mean for the next, like, 400 cycles, or 600, 400 if we do a really good job, 400 if I've made as a player a significant improvement over the last run. Go into space and build bunker doors. Because right now, you can't see it, but at the very top of this map, we can go into space, and we are getting rained on by comets. And I think that they changed it. I think that they finally fixed it so that your base doesn't completely get destroyed if you don't do anything about the comets. But it's still a problem, and it's kind of an existential threat. And I also just want to get into space, because that's the big endgame thing that they added with this update. The space mechanics are not only in the game now, but they're actually fun. There were too many issues before this update, before they added the space industry thing. Oh shit. Yeah, I've done that before. Okay, so we've got some space, and I think what I'm gonna do is on this floor. Well, I think I want to make that floor above, actually. Well, whatever, it's all temporary. I'm gonna try to, like, purposefully not think very hard about where I place objects, because I'm just gonna delete it all and, like, fix things up anyway. It's kind of hard to think about what I want this place to look like before I dug it all out and made this water all be in one place. So, but I do want a research station, and I want one as quickly as possible. So I think I'm gonna put one right here, and then we also need a manual generator, and we need a tiny battery, and we need a wire. So this is the power overlay, by the way. We'll be spending a lot of time here later. So basically what I'm doing is I'm throwing down 2 manual generators. This is the most basic form of power generation. Literally just a hamster wheel that your tubes run on. And they're going to run on it and charge these batteries, and the battery is going to charge this research station to do research. And you really want to just start researching things nonstop as quickly as possible. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's not super true if you're brand new to this game. But, you know, once you've researched everything once and know what everything does, you know, then it's not going to be overwhelming yourself with new things to do that. And you kind of just do want access to everything. To really plan out projects efficiently and build things as good as you can build them, which is something you want to do to succeed. You kind of just want to have the whole library of things to make. And you can do it pretty quickly. You can kind of be done with research before too long. What the fuck? Oh, buildings. Dig. So they're just charging the batteries. And they'll actually level up their athletic skill while they're on this. So that's kind of nice. And we have this built now. So what we want is to research. The first thing you always want to click here is jobs. Actually, whoa. I think they changed it. I think this research tree is a little different than before. But in any case, that doesn't change the fact that what I really want first is the jobs board. And I'm going to... One thing that I should mention about the dupes is you don't really need to think too hard about the dupes you're taking on in the beginning. But you probably want like someone that likes digging, and you definitely want someone that's like interested in researching. Because you want to get the research finished as quickly as possible. And I think that was Ruby. Right? Yeah, research, personal interest research. So what we're going to do is we're going to just click this and say disable for everybody. And then for Ruby, we're going to prioritize it just a little bit. And now Ruby will be the only one that researches, and she will get really good at researching. How long research takes depends on how good of a researcher you are, how good your research skill is. And that's why I did what I did. So the first thing to research will be significantly longer than how long it takes than how long it takes to research something when Ruby is a tenured scientist. But we gotta get him a job at all first, so... But, you know, this is how fast it's going. You can see, actually, eventually, you'll see a research point pop up. So basically... Oh, wait. I think it said it there for a second before I paused. Yeah, so you get a point every so often. Basically, like earning research points. So this is pretty small. The last time I played this game, I made the floors in the middle pretty small, and I didn't plan for it to be, but it is nice and symmetric in terms of the number of tiles away from this printing pod I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no! I'm aesthetically disgusted with myself. But not enough to change anything. This train has no brakes. I just want to kind of get this beginning of stuff done quickly. That's kind of my main goal. And I also want to get this water consolidated. That's kind of the first big project. So this is slime, by the way. Let me talk a little bit about just the stuff here. We've got dirt. Dirt's important to use as fertilizer in the beginning of the game. We're gonna need to deal with food fairly soon. In fact, we should probably do something about oxygen fairly soon too. And you're gonna have to be cut up, I think. Hatch lives in this hole here. But you won't for long. I think we're about to home wreck them. Oh my god, does my game really only have a single shine bug? That's terrifying. How old is it? It's 8. I've never started with just one shine bug. Oh, there's another one up here. This one's only 3, so it'll probably lay an egg. Does it have bristle blossom? So these shine bugs are a species that, is there anything that happens at night other than sleep? No. I don't think so. But these shine bugs, they're not that useful of a species, but one of my goals when I play this game is to preserve all the species, and use them as much as they can. And there's kind of like a mini game to be played with these shine bugs in terms of breeding them. But one thing they do is they give off light, which you can see is when I press F5, I get the light overlay. There's 0 lux here, pitch black, and then over here, 1,800 low lit. So they give lighting off, and the lighting, as well as them, I think, give off decor. There's a lot of positive decor in this room. One thing I like to do with these shine bugs is, like, somewhere near the middle of my base, we'll put a big box of shine bugs, like a farm of them here, and then eventually make the walls out of glass so that everybody can see in all the time, and that'll give everybody some nice stress relief. Decor is, you can see that my base has awful decor right now. And if your dupes, if decor basically affects your dupe's stress. If they're in positive decor, the red decor, then they will be gaining stress over time based on how red the area is. And if they are near green decor, then they will lose stress over time based on how close they are. So it's good that I made these beds next to the printing pod, because the printing pod gives off positive decor. Is there something to dig here? Why can't I put a tile there? Oh, there it is. Yeah, you do care about aesthetics. Aesthetics are important. So this right here is algae. You can see we're kind of running out of oxalite already. You don't have yeah, the oxalite is gone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put an algae deoxylizer right here, and I'm gonna wire it up. It does take power, so it's good that I made this. And I'm gonna wire it right like this. Eventually there will be a fire pole here, so this will be less visible. You can wire tile through the ground, through the floors and ceilings, and that'll make it invisible. And the wire does give off negative decor, but not much. So I'm gonna make these priority 7, just to make sure that dupes use them. And I'm gonna make this research station also priority 7. Just to make sure someone's always researching. Games give me lots of tips that I don't need to know. I don't understand. I have 9 viewers. I had like barely any yesterday, and then I decided to start streaming without any warning at 1 AM, and then I get the viewers. What be that? All those cute noises are coming from these hatches. They look ugly, but they make really cute noises. They are ugly. I think they're the worst looking animals. What they do though is they will eat a lot of different things. I always forget. Like there's a pretty varied list of things that they eat, and they poop coal. And coal is kind of basically it's tier 2 of power. It's used for a couple things, but mainly it's used in coal generators for power. Which will be what we upgrade to when we research it. But you will run out of coal. Or at least, I mean, you won't run out of coal because of these hatches if you make a hatch farm, but they won't produce coal fast enough to keep up with your power needs, and eventually we'll need to upgrade to a 3rd tier of power. And the tiers of power progressively get more complicated. But the tiers of power don't really replace, like, you won't replace coal generators. Like, we'll even have a use for these manual generators consistently for the whole game. Just because they're so conveniently easy to throw down and use. And eventually I will be making stuff all over the place. Not necessarily close to an existing power network. And so it's nice to just be able to throw down coal generators and manual generators where they're needed. I think... Yep, I want to keep building down just a little bit more. And I don't want to dig this out yet, but I will dig it out soon. It's actually going to be quite easy to gather all the water in one place. Usually it's a little bit complicated to do that, but this game made it kind of easy. If you're a new player, then to play the way that I'm playing is probably going to be a little bit stressful. I would recommend playing at this speed most of the time if you're new. This speed is very tolerable. Things will get done during it. But if you play at this speed all the time, then you'll get a bad habit of just constantly pausing whenever you have to think about anything. And that'll make you really frustrated because you'll plan stuff out and then you'll just watch. And it's nice to have both happening at once. It makes the game more enjoyable. I can get away with it because I can make decisions about this early game fast enough that, yeah. But even I'm still pausing a little more than I'd like to. It's good to try to let the game run and also make decisions fast enough to keep up with that. That's what I'm saying. It'll end up, I think, putting you in a better mindset to play it if you do that. And there's a lot of nice metal up here, way more than I'm used to starting with. But I will dig up soon. These shine bugs, by the way, I think they're meant to teach the player a lesson, actually, because I think that you're actually supposed to let them accidentally go extinct if you're a beginner, because the game's trying to teach you that you are a home wrecker. You are kind of like invading the natural habitat of all of these species, and the reason that these shine bugs can exist here, you might think of, because they'll keep repopulating. These shine bugs, if I don't do anything, if I don't take care of them, if I don't feed them, they will exist for at least 200 cycles, I would guess. And I won't realize that they're starting to depopulate. They will repopulate here. There's only 2 of them here, but they will repopulate. They'll lay eggs. And they will depopulate. And then eventually, one day, without you realizing it, they will just all be gone, and you'll feel bad. And the reason that they're all gone is because they're only able to exist because this is a very temperate climate, which is rare. Like, this green bubble does not exist anywhere else on the map. There's only one biome like this on the map. And because they get to subsist on these bristle blossoms. Bristle blossoms are really nice plants that are food for you and your dupes, but also they're food for these shine bugs. And this is a symbiotic relationship that the bristle blossoms have with the shine bugs. Because the bristle blossoms, in order to grow, they don't actually need to be fertilized with anything. They do need to be irrigated, but the game just ignores that at the beginning. But they need light to grow, and the shine bugs give off light. So the shine bugs give off light, they grow these bristle blossoms, and then the shine bugs eat the bristle blossoms. But if you steal the bristle blossoms for yourself, and put them in your base, and then your base gets hot, and suddenly you're making things a lot harder for your shine bugs. And if you just hoard all the bristle blossoms from them, which your dupes naturally will, they're gonna just not have the food source anymore, and they'll die. And you're not really supposed to realize any of that, I think. I mean, I didn't realize any of that when I was first starting to play, and then one day, they were all gone. Sad day. I'm gonna click this thing. The reason I haven't harvested this, I used to harvest everything in the beginning, but if I just click auto harvest here, and make it like priority 7, then the dupes will gather the food, and the mealwood will start to grow again, and it'll naturally grow as long as you don't harvest it and plant it. So that's nice. And I'm gonna make this is a ration box, this has food. We'll upgrade to fridges later, but I'm gonna make this priority 8. And the reason I'm making it priority 8, and I have to click this a few more times, but make sure you unclick and re-click this checkbox a bunch of times, because as you discover new forms of food, they'll show up here, and then you have to check that. But now the dupes will make sure to harvest this when it's ready, and they'll also make sure to deliver it to this box. So research looks like it's almost done. And so here's algae. I have this algae deoxylizer. It's creating oxygen over time, as you can see. My base is it's getting pretty compressed with oxygen, which is good. It's using algae pretty fast. And this green stuff is algae right here. There's tons of it. At least right now there's tons of it. That's the thing though. Again, this biome here that you start in is very, very special. Honestly, I don't have a lot of algae. It's actually kind of scary how little algae I have. We're gonna have to deal with that ASAP. I think I'm actually gonna have to prioritize getting out of my base with like exosuits faster than I've ever had to do it before. So basically, like, you don't have a lot of algae just laying around like that. Instead you have slime. And this is slime here, this spotted stuff. It's basically polluted algae. You can convert it into algae, but it's going to have germs in it. And if you let your dupes just mine out the slime, it's going to emit germs into the air, and your dupes are going to get slime lung, and that can kill them. So you really don't want to just mine this slime. But I think I might just mine these few tiles out, and these tiles out, and these tiles out, and this tile out, and just let their immune system kind of tank it. Or I could be smart. Let's do the part where let's do the one where I'm smart. So the reason I'm doing that is because I would like to have a little basin here for all the water. Except I don't even think that they can dig this. Yeah, they can't dig this out. I think they just need to be regular miners to dig that. I think I want to make the basin like this. 5, 6 maybe? Maybe like that. So I guess this will be the bottom of the base, at least for now. I'll continue to extend down a little bit later. It seems small, but I guess there's tons of space up here that I haven't used yet. No, wait, why am I doing that? This is all water basin. So what I'm gonna do is make it like this. Can't do that. And this. And they're gonna mine out a little bit of slime as they do this. And that's... I don't know. I'm gonna say that that's probably okay. I'm about 50% sure it's gonna be okay. Oh shit, they can't dig this? What is this? Granite. They can't mine granite, really? Without being miners? That's interesting. So I don't want to build tiles here, I just want this to all be water. Shit, I'm not even sure that's enough space for all the water. I might need to dig lower than that. And honestly, I've made this design mistake before. I think what I want to do... I can't dig all of this out. That would be a disaster. But I think what I will do is... that. And I really... And hopefully they won't get slime lung. What we're going to do about the slime lung is we'll fill this up with water as quickly as possible, and then we'll put storage compactors like here and here. And what I'll do is I will... 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is something that you're going to see me doing a lot, and what I'm doing is I'm making scaffolding, essentially. The dupes will be able to hop across here, and it's really only existing for building purposes. I want to dig all this out, but I don't want to build floors, and I recommend you do this. It's... I don't know how, actually, I don't recommend you do this. I don't think that you can play this game without doing this. Let's put it that way. I hope you're right. Alright, so... maybe not priority 8. Priority 7. 6. I don't really need to make 7. Try to be a little conservative with how you give priorities. Basically, one thing I should do with priorities right now is I should, and I recommend everyone do this, you should definitely hit 9. You should definitely have your algae deoxidizers to be priority 9. Because your dupes do need to deliver algae, and when you think about it, oxygen is the most important thing to have. You do not want your dupes to be building something and not loading this thing with algae. It's the most important thing to have, right? So you need to save priority 9 for stuff like the deoxidizers. Because you don't want them to drop that kind of thing to do like your building project. No matter how much you want them to do the building project, you don't want them to kill themselves to do the building project, which is what they'll do if you don't have those things set in mind. Oh, I finished research. I've heard they change to the advanced research to where I only... Yeah, I think I can research all of this tier 2 stuff without a supercomputer this time, which is nice. It was kind of stupid that I had to do that before. And, pretty much everything here is important. It's really not that important what you research first. You need everything almost equally. But if, you know, depending on your playstyle, you might want to prioritize certain things. I think probably what we should do first is get food. So I will research... I guess this first. But now that the research that was being done is finished, I can put down this jobs board. Put it right here. Actually, I kind of want to put it right here, but that spot is taken, so I'll put it right here. And I'm going to make that priority 9. I really want them to make that right now. I know I'm breaking the thing that I just said you shouldn't do. It's just one object. Okay, so now that I have a jobs board, I can hit L and bring up the jobs tab. So this is the jobs tab. Everybody is unemployed and worthless right now, and they need to do something with their fucking miserable lives. So we're going to make Nisbet our digger, because she likes digging? No, who likes digging? Nobody likes digging. Nisbet, you're our digger. Welcome to the crew. Nisbet was the digger in the last world, so... our boy Travaldo... He really likes athletics. I'm gonna make him our gopher. Well, yeah, I'll make him a gopher. Gopher is, like, arguably the most important beginning job because, at the end here is exosuit engineer, which you really want to train everyone in ASAP, but, yeah, so, and then we'll make Ruby a research assistant. Now, you want to be careful with this jobs tab. You can see right here, this is tier 2 job. Tier 1 job is this +2 here, and what this number here is morale. Now, if I go to Nisbet here, and I go to something, if I go to vitals and I look at Nisbet, I can look. You can see morale is right here. There's stress and morale. So morale is 1 for Nisbet, and that's because she's got nothing going on really. Morale is basically quality of life. Nisbet's got nothing going on. She has a crappy bed and an outhouse, and she eats garbage tier food all the time. She has a very small break, and there's no decor anywhere. So, all of those things combine to give her very low morale. But the morale isn't too low right now because she's homeless. Or not homeless, she's jobless. She's unemployed. Morale only affects this jobs tab. If I give someone a tier 3 job, if I tell someone that they are an architect and they have this very important architect job that only they can do because they leveled up to it, then they're going to expect with that promotion that their quality of life goes up with it. And if their quality of life hasn't properly gone up to reflect their higher job status, then they will get angry at the world and gradually build up stress. So you want to make sure... I mean, I'm going to make Ruby a research assistant here, but I have to take into account that that is going to make him demand more of life. And he probably was going to build up some stress. In fact, I don't even know if I want to do that right now. I think I might just make him an architect for now, but just keep him researching anyway. Stress is something I take very seriously when I play. Hey, it just gave me a tip on morale. I don't care. I'm not reading that. You think I know how to read, game? Come on. Don't go this. I mean, Ruby's gonna be the brains, actually. I actually give my dupes some names to make sure that I can easily reference what they are. Ruby's gonna have all sorts of jobs, but overall, he's gonna be the brains. Which is hilarious, because he almost killed himself already. But, we're just gonna... We'll give him that pass. And, give him the benefit of the doubt. Nisbet's, I don't know. We're gonna call her the muscle. She's gonna be getting shit done. She's gonna start out as a miner, but... I find that whoever I make the digger early on ends up being just that person that's always a fucking round. Like, I want something to happen, Nisbet's always gonna be the first person I see, I guarantee it. And then Travaldo. There's only one name to give Travaldo. Travaldo is our boy. This is my cat. I don't know if you heard that. Oh wait, did someone ask me on my major earlier and I just forgot? I don't think they're even here anymore. By the way, the reason I'm putting these storage compactors here is because when I mine out this slime, it's going to start emitting polluted oxygen and germy polluted oxygen into the air. And oh shit, I'm about to have a food shortage. There's very little food on this map. There's some mealwood up here. There's some mealwood that's growing here. This is halted because the shine bug is in the wrong place. Well, I only have 3 dupes, but I really need to get on the food production ASAP. This is a very extreme early game biome that I have, to be honest. You know what I think I'm gonna have to do? I think I just need to make sure that I get in here immediately. These are just, these don't do anything. These are not food, these are not medicine, these are just decoration. Don't be afraid to dig them up. I'm just gonna build this ladder way the fuck up. Right here. Invade this person's habitat. And I'm also going to dig up the sides as I go. Just because that's something I like to do. I'm gonna make this priority 8, because we kind of desperately need food. Like, as many little scraps of food as we can get right now. Well, I'm a math person. I am doing a PhD in math. If that person is still here. Or if they watch this later. These beds are pretty germy, and I can't prioritize them, which is interesting. But what I'm gonna do, because honestly, I am, like, it is pretty easy to let your dupes get sick in the beginning of the game, so one thing I will do is I'm going to clean outhouse, empty storage, mop, disinfect. So I'm gonna make our boy Travaldo. He's gonna like prioritize disinfecting and tidying and that kind of stuff. Because this has a little... The germs are going down. Like, so germs basically will die in environments that aren't conducive to them over time. And so you can see these germs are dying very quickly. And they're dying even quicker now that our boy Travaldo is disinfecting them. But you can see our immune system is going down a little bit. Nisbet here is fighting some germs away. And you can see, because of the germs are going away. She's a germ host, and the germs are living inside her, but they're dying because there's not enough of them, and her immune system is fighting them. But you can see her immune system, at the rate it's going, is going to go down by 20% by the end of the day. And so, eventually, her immune system is going to go down to 0. And when the dupe's immune system goes down to 0, then the very next germ that gets on them gets them sick, guaranteed, 100% chance. So that's how disease works. And you can see the carbon dioxide isn't really a big issue because of the space down here, but it will be shortly. I'm gonna have to think about it. In fact, I probably don't want to dig all the way across like that. I think I might actually leave a few tiles of space. Assuming that's enough space for all that water. It probably isn't, never mind. Forget I said all that. I really do want to leave some space though, because I want there to be room for the carbon dioxide to go somewhere. I don't want it to just build up on top of the water and then suffocate my dupes. So what I might do is I might just dig out tunnels here and here, so that the carbon dioxide can just kind of fall right and left and go around. I think that would work. I'm gonna need to go towards this iron anyway, so But right now it's fine. I only have 3 dupes, and I'm keeping 3 dupes because I have no food. I can take a new dupe on, but I'm not doing so because I have no food. And because, I haven't prepared to deal with carbon dioxide yet. Fervaldo is a fucking... He's the Hitler of germs, basically. So YouTube's all these little conversations, and they're great. This game has a ton of personality, I love it. And I'm just gonna dig a little tunnel in here for this mealwood, this delicious mealwood. Enable artifacts, get that shit. Get that shit. He's so happy. So she's picking up that because, and the reason she's picking up that and dropping everything she's doing, which is what you want. Yeah, I want my food all over the place, even though it's unrefrigerated. She's doing that because it's priority 8. She's doing this because it's priority 7, which is the same as this priority. So I guess that's just kind of her choice at that point. I don't really know why she did that, but sometimes things work in mysterious ways. So what happened there is all the sand just kind of fell. Sand does that. If you want to deal with that before it happens, you can just kind of say dig in this like line. So then when it falls, they'll just start dealing with it. Or not. Actually, never mind, that doesn't work. Okay. And if, you know, if you have priority 5 stuff here and priority 8 stuff here, and they can't get to the priority 8 stuff because of the priority 5 stuff, they're just not going to do this 8 stuff. So if I want them to do this priority 8 stuff, I have to make this priority 8 as well. Pro tip. Wait. What's happening? One of these hatches just made a noise like it was suffocating. Hey look, it's in my base. I'm gonna open up the critter egg tab here, and I'm gonna keep it open because I really want to keep track of my shine bug population because I only have 2 of them. And the game is going quite slow right now, even at super speed. Things are going quite slow because I only have 3 dupes, and because the dupes themselves aren't very good yet at things. But the game does get quite faster. It gets way faster as you play it. And you don't need to take on tons of dupes to watch the game get faster, because again, the dupes themselves get good at stuff. And if you have more dupes, then you also have more things to do. You need to have bigger food operations, bigger oxygen operations if you have more dupes. And so you're gonna get less done if you're not prepared for that. You've gotta, like... There's a balance to strike in terms of number of dupes to, like, production requirements for that number of dupes. So our boy, our girl Ruby is pretty much done researching food, which is a good thing. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for him to finish it because it's super important. Oh wait, I forgot about this thing. Yeah, I should just put this down. So this is the microbe musher. I forgot this existed. Really? Or I mean, yeah, I guess I did just forget this existed. Just kind of silly of me. But the microbe musher you can use to make terrible food out of virtually nothing. Your dupes will hate them and it will give them diarrhea. But you don't have to actually grow any food or kill animals or anything. You can just make shit. And that's with the magic of these mush bars. Making a mush bar requires 75 kilograms of dirt, which is all over your starting area, and 75 kilograms of water. Now that's a bit costly, actually. You can see one tile of water has 1,000 kilograms in it. So to just continually make mush bars, 75 doesn't sound like a lot, but like if you do that for like 7 dupes for 30 days, that's gonna take a significant chunk of your water supply. So there's a lot of good reasons to make these mush bars as little as possible, but we need food right now. And even if I make planters and plant the mealwood, it's gonna take time to grow. So I'm going to make this continuous and priority 7, and I'm actually going to take on a new dupe actually, and hopefully we get we didn't. I was hoping we get a cook. Is anyone even okay at cooking? You're okay at cooking. You're okay at cooking. Trypophobia. Can't dig. Fuck that. Fuck you. Devin. Don't ever take someone that can't dig in the beginning of the game. And I would maybe even get hazard ever. This is one of the worst traits you can have. Squeamish is honestly... Okay, so the Gene is like an uncaring, soulless, awful person, but he's actually also the best. Can't care doesn't really matter right now, at least in the current state of the game, because people aren't going to get sick that often that I really need someone who's dedicated to helping people around. And he's an early bird, which we'll talk about later. So, welcome aboard. Do I not want this guy? Yeah, he's anemic. He has -5 athletics. That's kind of annoying. So, we have an artist now. I usually name my artist Starving Artist, to remind myself that they are the artist, and also to remind myself that because they are the artist, they will not really have much of a job, like specifically, much of the time. They'll just kind of be running around doing whatever they can, and just helping in ways they find... I guess I'm just like letting him be himself, you know? If he's the artist, he shouldn't have a specific other job. He should just do what he wants to be inspired. Like suffocate. That's one of the things that he likes to do. Yeah, Devin looked kind of evil. Like, he looked like that guy that looks... Yeah, he just looked a little too pleasant, you know? Something was up with that guy. I don't know about that, Devin. But I do know that my research is done, and I forgot to start more research. You should definitely, like, try to get research done as quickly as possible. Like, any and all research. I'm overthinking the research that I want to do right now. But since we have an artist, I am going to go ahead and click towards artistic expression and work towards this, yeah, because once I get that, I can make paintings, and I can make sculpting blocks, and I can start to make my base look spiffy. But I can also do this. This is extremely temporary. I don't grow mealwood for very long, so I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to get this started. I want to get this started today. Have this growing today. But the real reason that we have Gene, our starving artist, he won't be a cook forever, but for now I'm going to make him a chef. No. I'm gonna make him a sous chef. By the way, you haven't seen what he looks like. Watch this. Look at him. He's so happy. Yeah, that's what they do. That's them taking on a new job. The hat they're wearing represents the job they're doing. So Gene is for now going to be a cook, and I'm just going to tell him to be continually making life slow. And I'm also going to be saying that no one else can make life slow. You know, I might honestly make Gene the cook as well as the artist. I feel like those two jobs are infrequent enough that you can kind of merge those together. But Gene, again, just like the research, Gene is now the only one that can cook, and he's going to prioritize it, and that's so that he can get good at cooking so that he doesn't waste his time on it. So I'm going to plant this mealwood, and I'm going to apply that to all of these, but I only have 4 mealwood seeds right now. When the mealwood grows and you harvest it, it will always give you at least 1 seed, with a small chance of another seed. So eventually we will fill up all these planter boxes, but it's going to take a while. But it won't take a while if I actually dig all these out. I'm going to let this grow out one more time. But I will dig this and take the mealwood that's there. And that'll give me a seed. I don't think it'll give me 2. And then as these grow, I'm just gonna keep doing that. Actually, did this just get mined out? I'm gonna dig this up too, because I just mined this. And this. And while they are hanging out and sleeping, I'm gonna pour some water. I don't know how much longer I want to do this for. Honestly, probably not too much longer. I'll probably just have to pause this, and it's already 2:15, so I'm probably going to do this until 2:30, but we will probably pick this up again tomorrow. Also, my cat needs attention. You can see this microbe musher is mushing some microbes and making some meat. This is not a good line. But your dupes want to consume, I think, they want to consume, I think, about 3,000 kilocalories a day. I don't really understand why they're called kilocalories, because the numbers work out to make them seem just more like calories. I don't know of any humans that eat 30,000 calories a day. Wait, no. 3,000 kilocalories. That is 3 million calories a day. Right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of calories, is my point. Also, I forgot to give Jean a bed. I'm sorry, Jean. I'm gonna make them all bedrooms here pretty soon. As soon as I drain this water, I'm going to, I think, make this side of the base just all bedrooms. Starting maybe, like, right here. Just make them go up, I think. If a kilocalorie is a calorie, then why is a calorie called a calorie and not a kilocalorie? That makes no sense. Or is that just, like, a terrible garbage word? You guys really need to get this. I don't make the rules. You can see what happened there was nobody's running on the manual generators and these batteries ran out, and I forgot to wire this battery up to the rest of it. Whoops. If you just missed like one wire, don't be afraid to make a priority 9. I just want that shit done. Okay, now they won't have to run the generators off. What water? What are you talking about? So the wrong creature laid an egg. I really don't want another hatch just kind of wandering around my base, but I got one, so thanks. Thanks, Obama, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I will get a hatch population, and it'll overrun my base whether I like it or not. And these, ooh, okay, yeah, I made a bad error. You should always make your outhouses priority 8 or 9, so that your dupes will clean them out when they get full. And I guess same with the wash basins too. And I didn't, and they might piss themselves tomorrow because of that. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so yeah, he just finished researching these relatively unimportant decor items, and now he's going to start researching the important decor items. Wait, so water at 1 degree Celsius is equal to 1 calorie? Is that what you're saying? So you can see now that they've, that's not gonna help Rivaldo. You're just kind of covering the screen from what I wanted to talk about. What just happened was, you saw there was some polluted dirt on the ground, and it's emitting polluted oxygen. Where is it? Yeah, so polluted dirt is not dirt. It actually has nothing to do with dirt in terms of the game logic. Do you need pipes to get water to those, or are they they're moving it manually for now. So I have this pitcher pump, and they'll go over here and just kind of pump some water into a water cup that they'll bring over to here. But yeah, we will have full-on plumbing eventually. There is a plumbing overlay, and there is a ventilation overlay, and there's an automation overlay. Why isn't the automation overlay happening? Oh, I can't bring up the automation overlay because I don't have automation researched yet. There is a exosuit overlay, there is a shipping overlay that I can't unlock yet. There are a lot of, like, there's a ton of crap in this game that I haven't gotten to. If you watch this video, and then you watch like 30 videos ahead of now, and I will kind of try to get through most of it, I think. You're gonna see an enormous kind of difference in what this turns into. I guess just watch my previous video from yesterday with that stream if you want to see kind of where this game goes. Just check into that, because that's day 700 or something. Why aren't you guys doing this? These two are 7. So he just picked up a mule seed. So I'm gonna stop queuing up the mush bars for now, and instead I'm going to queue up lice loaf. They can eat meal lice on its own, but lice loaf, I believe. What is the difference between lice loaf and meal lice? I think someone has it. Maybe I can? Where's the meal lice? Well, as soon as I see some meal lice, I'll look into it. But I do nonetheless want lice loaf. I want you to be making that out of meal lice. So, these mealwood, when they grow, they do require to be irrigated with water. So my dudes are going to have to manually deliver water, and we'll be able to improve that later. And they also need to be fertilized with dirt. Different plants take different types of fertilizer. Mealwood needs dirt. Kilocalories are called calories because people don't want to say the kilo part. Okay, so people fucking it up. That makes sense. I'll accept that. But yeah, so this polluted dirt is emitting polluted oxygen, and that is a different type of gas. It's breathable, but it is bad for various reasons. And we'll have germs in it. Food poisoning germs, I believe. And what I'm going to do about it is once I fill these storage compactors up with water, I will put the slime and the polluted dirt, both of those will emit polluted oxygen. I will put those in these storage compactors, and the storage compactors will be full. They'll be submerged in water, and that will actually prevent the germs from like leaking out, or it'll like prevent that emission that you're seeing. So they're getting it done. This is kind of a bigger. This is probably the first. Not mid-sized. This is the first real project, I guess, that we are doing. Digging out this big water trough to collect all the water. It doesn't feel that big to me, but it probably looks like a big job to someone that hasn't seen this game before. And you can see I don't have the seeds yet for these, but I eventually will. Yeah, we have a food shortage. Understood. This is almost full ground. Maybe I should... Yeah, maybe I should make mush bars for now. I'll do that. I'll make mush bars, but I'm also going to not let... If you click consumables here, you can like turn on and off what they're allowed to eat. I'm gonna turn off meal lice, because I want them to make mush bars out of the meal lice, and I'll just eat the meal lice. Oh, shit. I am sorry, Gene. Gene is oppressed. Gene is oppressed, guys. He is sleeping in the bathrooms next to the outhouse. Because I never made a bed for him. So you can see when Gene got up there, he was not happy. He's got a sore back right now. He's also got diarrhea from eating the crappy food that he's getting. Yeah, so he's got athletics -1. I think he also gained some stress from that. I don't think, actually, no, I don't think he gains stress, but I think that he has lower morale now. Let's check. Okay, he doesn't have lower morale, but if you click on Nisbet here, and look at her morale, no, not Nisbet, okay, maybe Ruby? I know it's here somewhere. They should have a bed bonus from the morale. They don't, but I think they should. I know that not having a bed should in principle have a morale detriment. You should give your dupes beds. Like if for no other reason, like the whole point of this game is to give your dupes good lives. You're not just gonna fucking not let them sleep in beds. What's wrong with you? Be good to your dupes. Like, don't look at your dupes as like worker robots and worker drones. Look at them as people that you want to take care of. It makes this game better. Do that. You don't want to like feel like a taskmaster, even though you are. And you know, you're already getting a sense of like how inefficient everything is slowly becoming right now. My dupes are not able to do anything that I need them to do because they are busy running on these treadmills, making food, which they are eating just as quickly, researching. Things are kind of slow right now, and but they will pick up because eventually I will research coal generation. That's kind of the next big step towards efficiency. Is as soon as he's done researching this, I'm going to research internal combustion to make coal generators so that they can stop running on these generators all the time. And that'll give them some time to, you know, get stuff done. And that's what I mean when I say that the three main resources of this game are food, oxygen, and efficiency. Efficiency is a resource that you are working towards. Right now, you can see that I have very little of it. I never noticed this light here. Oh, it turns off when you're trying to use it. Nisbet, you really don't need to be running on that. The batteries are good. Maybe I made this priority 5. The way they interact with these manual generators is a little wonky. And I really wish that they would, you know, do this stuff. I guess it's only priority 6. Maybe it's minute 7. Maybe get it done faster. I'd like to get this done and then quit for the night. Because this is kind of the foundation of my base. Like, you can see, actually, I'm at the bottom. Like, I plan... This whole bubble is going to be, like, the base to begin with. And then once we've kind of mined this place out and kind of gotten the basic furnishings in and gotten the basic stuff functioning, we're going to immediately, I think... It's legitimately scary how little algae I have. we really need to prioritize making exosuits and getting out of the base and mining into this line to start, like, supplementing our algae. Okay, there's a big chunk of algae here. That's a lot of algae. I'm not as nervous anymore about the algae problem. There's a lot of algae right here, but we still need to do that. That's definitely the next step, is to get out of the base with exosuits and start working on getting a clean source of algae that's consistent. And that's not the end game too for oxygen. After that, what we're gonna want to do is find a geyser or some kind of water source, and there will be some kind of renewable water source somewhere, probably. And then also find this thing called the anti-entropy thermonullifier, and then we will unite those two things, and we will make a setup that takes the water, breaks it into hydrogen and oxygen gas, and then filters out the oxygen gas, cools it down, and then sends that into my base through some ventilation. And that will kind of be the end game of supplying oxygen to my base. And I think as far as the timetable goes, I can realistically expect to have all that done by maybe cycle 200. That's probably about nice. We'll see if I get it done quicker than that. These batteries fucking suck. I really want to replace them with real batteries soon. So, by the way, I should mention, like, everything has a little book next to it. You can click the book, bring up, like, a big description. There's a whole database here to look through. The game is very terse, because that's just how Clay makes their games. But that's good, because you don't want to read all sorts of crap. You can see, this is a good, like, quick description of everything you need to know. Stores a bit of runoff power from generators, but loses charge over time. Batteries allow extra power from generators to be stored later, rather than lost. So, without these batteries here, the dudes would just be running on the manual generators all day long, just to power this one thing. This way they can power these batteries and then walk off, do their thing, and then they only have to come back to charge the batteries, and they can be not running on the treadmill 100% of the time. Another thing, you know, doing this in the beginning of the day, this is necessary, and this is also super inefficient. I need to replace these with, you know, regular lavatories that have legitimate plumbing and aren't toxic, you know. You're doing that because your dupes are going to like it, but you're also doing that so that they have time to do more things. In fact, I might even argue that, like, I keep telling me I have a food shortage, but I'm still making food all the time, so it's fine. I would say more probably that, like, what you're working towards in the beginning of the game, more than anything, is just getting them to have time to do things. And this is the crazy thing now. There's a bit of slime here. There won't be a whole lot of slime. Travaldo, our boy, is... Ew. Oh. He might be stuck. Oh, crap, I need to build a ladder here. Again, like, when you're designing something, you always need to take into consideration how your dupes are going to, move around while they're doing that design. Although, with this newest upgrade, the most exciting thing about this new upgrade, that's going to be less of a problem, because this newest upgrade has added... Where is it? It's probably pretty far along on this research grid. Right here. I need to have precision plumbing researched, and I need to have transit tubes researched, which involves researching exosuits. But then I can make the jet suit, which is literally just an exosuit, I think, with like rocket jets on either side, which will let your dupes fly. And that'll be fucking cool. But that's a ways away. I think it requires petroleum also to like as rocket fuel. And petroleum is a full-on production to get a petroleum, like, to get a petroleum production going, it's a bit of a production. So, I think that, This hatch here. I think this hatch here is gonna die. I think you're fucked, little guy. I think you're gonna drown when this water comes down on you. So, everybody press F. Pay respects to this hatch. His death was a necessity. Wait, no it's not. Wait, yes it is, because I don't have ranching research. If I had ranching research, then I could make this critter drop off, and I could put it right here. And I could, wrangle him. You can click wrangle right here. But I think even to wrangle him, you need a rancher. So, yeah, he's fucked. There's nothing we can do about him. He's gonna drown. And he's gonna drown tomorrow because my dupes are very slow to get anything done right now. Holy shit, I forgot how slow this early game can be. This insufficient oxygen generation alert tends to scare people, and is usually a false alarm. But yeah, we're fine. This thing is emitting oxygen all the time, and I only have 4 dupes. And I think probably the general rule of thumb is that 1 algae deoxylizer should be good for about 9 dupes, honestly. Yeah, I think about 9 dupes, maybe more. 1 deoxylizer gets you pretty far. Yeah, and you don't want to like throw down too many of them because that's just going to waste algae. And algae is very precious early on. So yeah, so the next thing I'm going to research is internal combustion for coal generators. And then after that we'll probably do... we'll probably do pressure management after that, so I'm going to make airflow tiles. So yeah, they definitely took a hit, and they're going to continue to take hits. Let's see, how's our boy doing? He's going to get... he's got a lot of germs. He's got a lot of germs. The thing about slime lung, though, is that it dies in clean oxygen. It thrives in polluted oxygen, which you can see there is some polluted oxygen. That's yellow right here. And you can see there's germs in it, and the germs they're multiplying and dying very, very quickly because the polluted oxygen is rapidly interacting with the oxygen, and the slime lung thrives in polluted oxygen but dies very quickly in oxygen. So, that's immediately one big difference between polluted oxygen and regular oxygen. Because regular oxygen is as you would expect, cleaner, and you know, if your dupes are living in it, then they're less likely to get disease because disease can't travel as easily through it. So, when does Text Talk live stream? I live stream, sort of live stream now. Like, I'm gonna do it tomorrow too. So basically my plan is, I'm gonna do a Let's Play of this game, but I'm gonna do it live, and what I'm gonna do is, only the first video will appear in my library, so that it doesn't saturate my playlist. And the first video will have a playlist link to the rest of the videos. And I'm just gonna kind of like play through this game and kind of analyze it as I go and talk about it. And kind of do a tutorial on it, say what I like about the design, stuff like that. And, yeah, and I'll be doing it, you know, live, because why not? So you can watch. So, you know, this, you can see down here is terrible, you know. There's a lot of polluted oxygen here, which is a little scary because I don't really have a way currently to get rid of it. But for some reason, and I really don't understand why, polluted oxygen actually weighs less, I think, than regular oxygen. So this polluted oxygen will gradually, very gradually, you can see it's already happening. There's some right here. It will gradually float up to the top. And I will dig all this out. So eventually that polluted oxygen, if it doesn't go away, And I think you do breathe it in, so it will eventually go away. We'll gather at the top right here. Oh, this game is madness, and we're just getting started. This game is really complicated. This game, they made this game about twice as deep as I was expecting them to make it, and it's still not even finished. So you can see this meal lice right here. Let's see. Not copper ore, meal lice. So this meal lice is 600 calories if they eat it, and its quality is grizzly, and I think it gives them diarrhea when they eat it. Meanwhile, if I use it to make lice loaf, how much does it need? It needs 1,200 kilocalories. See you, Zanza. Collecting strata. Strata meaning... Sorry, I can't remember what that word means. 1,200 kilocalories. 600. Oh, wait, okay, so making one lice loaf takes 2 meal lice servings. I didn't know that. And 50 kilograms of water, and it produces 1,700 kilocalories. Okay, so this is the first instance that we've seen in this game of the law of conservation of energy being broken. We will take 1,275 calories. No, 1,250 kilograms, I guess, kilo-somethings, and we'll end up making 1,700? But the quality is terrible, whereas the quality if they just ate it raw is grizzly. So that is a morale difference that matters, especially in the early game. So I can stop queuing up the mush bar now, and I can start queuing up lice loaf. And I might even manage to make a second musher. And I'm just going to queue this up to make continuous mush bars for a while, so that I don't have to accidentally run out of food all the time. But we won't make mush bars for very long. Horizontal levels? Do they do that? Is that how it works? All I know is that it always seems to float up. Like, maybe that's why, though. I can see that being why it would just end up getting pushed up also, naturally. So the musher is pushing and putting in work, but then, like, what, are they eating metal from it? Oh, wait, I guess there's energy as heat being stored inside of the mush bars and the things they're making. Man, science is confusing. That whole mass energy equivalence shit, you know, it gets a little, hairy. Yes, I know I have a food shortage. I just finished talking about a game. And so, yeah, again, we have the problem here. These little shine bugs lived in these little pockets of the game that had these bristle blossoms. And that was making the bristle blossoms grow. But now that they're gone, now that they're just kind of loose in my base, they have no food source. They do not eat bristle blossoms. Although, they do eat phosphorite, which I can mine. There's some right here, and it's very easy to get. It's a little dangerous to mine it because this hydrogen will come in my base. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to trap them, and I'm going to have to feed them phosphorite to keep them alive. Because I don't want them to be eating my bristle blossoms. They're mine. Yeah, it is, right? I mean, it isn't, because, you know... Well, I mean... Oh yeah, kilocalorie is a measure of energy, not mass. But then, I guess my question is, what is 75 kilograms of water as energy? Is it just... Is it just the mass times the speed of light squared? Is it just MC squared? Can I just do that? Can I take the kilograms, multiply it by the speed of light, square that, and get the calories? If I convert it, unit-wise? Am I overthinking this? make it like right here, I think. I think that's actually a pretty big trough. I hope that it stores all the water. I might have to leave... I don't know if that's gonna be big enough. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna be tall enough for all three of these. I have so much water to start. Maybe I'll just leave one of them alone, but I definitely want to do this. So make all of this first. And let's get it done today. So what you're saying when you say not a thing, you're saying that I wouldn't end up getting the right calculation. Not necessarily that that isn't, in terms of like the game lore, what's going on. Which is that the reason that I am getting more kilocalories out of here, it's conceivable if I pretend that that could be what's going on. Oh no, you blew it! Nisbet, what'd you do? What'd you do? Oh no, you guys are gonna get hyperthermia now. What are you doing? Were you just doing like a secret handshake with an imaginary friend? Travolta, you're crazy. You're a crazy guy. Travolta, you also cannot be in there. Like, what are you fucking doing, sir? You guys are smart. You guys like know things. It's crazy. Underground water is 0 calories, but water tends to have salt plus amounts of calcium and magnesium. That can't be right. 0 calories? Water has energy. Water is mass. Mass has energy, right? Like, there's a mass to energy conversion. Do I just not understand physics? Did we just make all of physics BTFO? We just break physics? And the game is confused. I hate this. I hate this glitch, and I don't understand why they haven't fixed it. This is completely reachable. Like, they can totally get here. Oh, wait, no, they can't. Wait. Yeah, yes, they can. They just run along this. Oh, wait, so you're saying kilocalorie is... Oh, okay, so it's not actually energy. It's a differential. It's a difference. Okay. Okay, so it's not actual... It's not literally energy, not calories. I'm gonna close up real fast before sleeping. I did not have time to read all that. Whoa, it is raining hard. Oh shit, my window's open. Hold on, be right back. Its components have energy. But the way energy is measured is by burning the material, and the water evaporates in an endothermic reaction, so water has a compound, looks like it has no energy. Okay. That kind of makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's complicated. That's more complicated than I thought it would be. Yeah, so the game thinks that they can't get over here, and I really don't understand why. There's no reason that they can't get over there. If I click Ruby, he can move here, he can move here, he can move here, he can move here, he can move here. And then look, there's no reason that he can't just be running along. But then suddenly the game thinks that he can't move from here to here. And I'm going to have a fight with this game now, where I try to convince him that he can move over here. Scroll up, I give you a workaround. Also, you can get around the water pathing bug by moving duplicants up to their limit of their pathing in the water. Then they'll be able to detect things beyond that. The problem with that is that they need to deliver materials to here. If I tell him to just move over here, then the game will realize for a split second that that place is reachable, but then he'll move away from it, and he'll move away from it before any dupe decides to, like, bring something over there to build it. So that's actually not a workaround. I've thought of that before, and it just... You can fight the game all you want trying to get him to move back and forth, but it's never long enough for someone to, like, realize that they can bring something over here. You need to, like, leave a definite path for, like, a definite amount of time. Luckily, it's in the corner, so I can just do this. Also, this is completely unnecessary, but it would just look ugly if I didn't do it. Whoa, they changed the research music. I'm realizing this, like... Yeah, I guess we maybe do, but I haven't really been paying attention. Let's see, so yeah, we have... No, we don't. What was that sound? Oh, that was this sound. Oh, it makes a sound when new duplicants are available now. That's a cool little jingle. Cool, they made it. You don't need to make this sound. So you can see the carbon dioxide wasn't very thick before, but it's starting to kind of seep up now. I'm gonna have to do something about this pretty soon. And I'm also going to... I don't know why they haven't built this. Oh, because I haven't prioritized it. And things are getting kind of sickly. People are kind of starting to feel a bit shitty. Hopefully it's not a big problem. He's got 6,000 germs and he's losing 50% per cycle. Nisbet has 4,000 germs, but I think they're only feeling this way because they've been dwelling in here. I think once they stop this project... I just heard the noise again, and I have no idea why. Oh, is it happening? Yep. We pressed F a while ago, but I think we forgot that this guy was fucked. And here he is, dying. I'm sorry, buddy. It's for the good of your country. And your people. Did he lay this egg? Did he fall from up here? Did 2 of them die? I think 2 of them died. That's good. It's okay. Oh, you are stuck. You have nothing to do. Wait. I don't have a miner? I don't have a good miner. I'm gonna have to... I think that upgrading them is like opening Pandora's box. I think once you upgrade Nisbet... Once I upgrade Nisbet to a regular miner, I think she's at tier 3 forever. Even if I bring her back down. But I really want this dug out. Maybe it does... I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just leave you this light there, and I'll do this. And I guess I only need 1. Let me make it 9. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is because I want it to store my polluted dirt and slime. And I want that to be priority 9. Because I don't want the slime emitting polluted gas or the dirt. And I think as long as it's submerged in this water, it's not gonna die. Because I'm weird. That's why. What I want is I can't build it too low. The thing is I can't build this trough too low because I don't want to dig into all the slime. But I also need it to be have enough volume to store it that I can store all three of these like water storages. So I needed to make it really long, but then I was also worried about it being too long because I need to dig out space for the carbon dioxide. So it's not completely me being ridiculous. Some of it is well-founded. So this is set to continuous, and if the food ever falls below, I think 10,000, I'll queue up some mush bars. And I think, yeah, I have batteries, so I'm gonna take those apart. But yeah, I'm not honestly the greatest at the early game in this game. I usually fuck something up. There's too many different things that I have to manage all at once. And I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes, and there's gonna be crises, and that's just how this game goes, really. Like for this guy, I'm not managing him right. But the game anticipates that. The game is built around that, so... That water's gonna mostly seep out, and then I'm gonna build bedrooms, like real bedrooms here. And I guess I also need to have one of these down here. You can see I'm just building it like a ramp, basically, for the water to fall out efficiently. Yeah, automation changes everything. Automation changed this game, my perception of this game. Yeah, I don't think that this game is intended to be like this game is almost undoable without smart batteries, I think. Now that I like understand how to use them. Like, it's almost scary to honestly, like, I don't even know if I'm going to slap down a coal generator until I have a smart battery. I think I might just rush that. I'm actually glad that you brought that up. Wait, no, come on, dude, come on, you're better than this. Get out of there. Do I have any hatches left? Okay, there's an egg here, whatever. You can die if you really want. I know that you can save yourself. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. He's fine. He made a new home. Alright, so we've done what I set out to do, which is gather some of the water. I think I might leave this one alone until some of it runs out. I don't know. This, like this. Maybe leave some space. Yeah, I don't know if I can just shove all this down here. I might just leave this alone for the time being. I'm gonna build this across. And I might as well just build it all the way down. Alright, but this looks like a good stopping point. We've got a foundation for a base. The middle, really. I'm gonna build, you know, stuff on the sides as well. Then we'll start working on really expanding, like really making an expansion out. But I think this is a good place to stop. So, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you enjoyed the stream, if you were here to stream it. but I tried to make this something that was just as enjoyable to watch later on after it was being recorded than when it was being recorded. So hopefully, however you're seeing this, you found it enjoyable, and I'll see you next time. Yeah. Cheers, everyone.